I think it's innate. I think drive, I think entrepreneurial ability is like water. If you imagine a jigsaw of metal objects on the floor and you were to push water in through the doorway, that water will find every route to get around that jigsaw. And it's a bit like the curiosity I think I have and entrepreneurs have to seek out opportunities, solutions and interesting things.
Drive is this relentless thing inside of you that is unstoppable to a degree and makes you so focused on what you're doing to the sort of detriment of potentially everything else around you. I believe that you make your own luck, and I believe that if you're driven, you don't leave things to chance.
I always expect to be successful. I always expect that we're going to achieve the goal, and that expectation and driving towards that, we must, there's no fail, we must do that. And I remember when we won the Bib Gourmand for W5, we were at the restaurant show, and we won it when we opened Chiswick, and even then I kind of believed that we would get it, and we never won that award before, but I quite sincerely just thought, if we do this and the other, bang, we're going to do it.
So I just completely believe in the fact that this, like I say this to my guys in the office, and they all think I'm nuts, and I'm like, this company is already a massive company. We're already a global company. It's already happened. We just kind of haven't caught up on the timeline yet. And they like, you're literally on drugs, and I'm like, no, this is how I feel. That's genuinely how I feel. And there's, like, if we stop doing everything we do, then it all disappears, kind of thing. But it's almost like it's a completely foregone conclusion that this will happen. Whatever the obstacles are, you just keep pushing.
I am very driven by success. I like helping people to feel and be stronger and more powerful than they ever thought that they could be. I love that. I would like 1 million women to have walked through my door. And I mean, I do men and women. I'm an equal opportunity power giver.
But I think if you're going to be a founder, you're going to live and breathe something, you have to be obsessed about it. And I think passion, luckily, touch wood, spreads.
But I'll regularly work until 2 o'clock one night a week just to keep on top of the work. I think it's one of those that when you have your own business, you've got to put in the graft.
Happiness for me is something more internal, which is about having a peace of mind and being able to connect with those things that you love most in the world, from nature to family and spending quality time with people that you value. And then being driven in an environment where you can succeed in delivering a message or having an impact on the world. And all of those, if you can find that ultimate balance of the two, then that's for me being driven and being happy. Happiness is not having material plenty for me.
I think it's also about finding what makes you tick. So I think if you find that one thing that you wake up being obsessed about and when you go to sleep you're obsessed about, that's what's going to make you kind of tick. If you're passionate, you truly love what you do, you'll keep going at it, and your body and mind won't let you stop.
I think if you're in the startup space, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're helping an entrepreneur, then I think you've got to give up, the regular 9 to 5. I think if you're not driven, you're probably not happy.
I think that I've never really viewed it as sacrifice. I think I could have had alternative pathways. I realized that I work longer hours, I don't really have weekends. You might think it's sacrifice, but for me it's growth.
I do everything at 100 miles an hour in the sense of that holidays, family time became second to achieving the goal. And that's because I didn't want anything to get in the way of it. I didn't want a holiday to stop progress. I didn't want time off, or taking it easy, or I've worked too hard this week, or Monday to Friday. I decided to commit myself 24/7. And when you do that, the first thing that suffers is anything that's not related to the business, and that's family. I don't want the reason that this doesn't work down to the amount of effort I put in. I never want that to be questioned. So therefore I have to lead from the front. I was prepared to sacrifice everything else other than the business.
I have to say, having children, setting up a business, then starting a family is most definitely not the way to be doing it. Missing your youngest child's first steps or missing your second child's first words, those are the things that you can never recapture. But would I change things and be a full-time mum? No, I have to say I really enjoy working, and I think it's really important that the boys see me working so that they have role models in their lives.
I believe in theory and work-life balance. I think for entrepreneurs with vision it's really hard because you've got to throw yourself into it. So I believe in it conceptually for other people, but I'm not very good at doing it. I tried to have a holiday recently, but then I ended up running to the Wi-Fi when my kids were in surf school. But you know, I mean, what's that saying? You sleep when you die? I don't know.
What's most rebellious about me is pretty much everything.
Everything. Just tell me no, and then watch me go.
If someone says no, then I will do absolutely everything I can opposite to say yes.
Rebellious about me, coming up with really crazy menu concepts on like £2 million projects that don't work. Is that good enough? I'll just do that.
I have never learned to accept the status quo. I have always asked what if and why can't I? And so I think that being a rebel is probably ingrained in every atom of my being.
Everything is rebellious about me. I don't think there's one part of me that's not rebellious. Even if that rebellion is silent, it's rebellious. Yeah, everything.
We would spend more time building a better future and less time arguing and fighting.
I wish the world was more creative.
We have 50% market share.
I wish the world was a happier place.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
Work harder and love my family even more.
Make the world a happier place, one meal at a time.
I'm going to take over the world, one bottle at a time, cutting sugar.
Change the world.